Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is the moment of silence, and I'd like to dedicate this moment of silence to Jeanette Slutzowitz and Mickey Pasqua. Thank you. Next, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Present.
Trustee Reinders.
Present.
Trustee Lepore.
Present.
Do I say Trustee Nick Muller or just Muller?
Trustee Muller.
Trustee Muller. Okay, she's got Nick Muller on here.
Present.
Mayor Knightsky-Troike.
Present. Next is community recognition. Seeming we do not have any tonight. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
I would like to, Mayor, I would like to amend. I would like to move the village attorney, which is J4, down to 6A.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll make that motion or second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on to, I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee
I'll
Mason,
second.
Trustee Reinders, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approval of minutes. Moving on to January 22nd, 2025, Village Board meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Trustee Reinders, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller, is there any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to February 26th, 2025, Village Board meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee
Second.
Mason, Trustee Reinders, any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to public comment. First up, I have the honor of introducing our Will County Board member, Jim Richmond. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I know it's a beautiful evening tonight, and we're about ready to kick off summer, so wanted to bring some good news that's been transpiring over the past, I'll call it, hour and a half or so. And it's a whirlwind, too. As you all know, 143rd Street has been a major issue and concern for Homer Glen over the past number of years. And over the past 18 months, there's been, they've been working down in Springfield to do with a bill called HB 250, which is eminent domain and quick take of property. That bill was on the floor today, and it was basically put off to the side. We did a big push, not only Homer Glen, but residents and people even outside of the Homer Glen area and members of the county board to get that, basically fill out a witness slip opposing that. Obviously, our voices were heard because they kind of pushed that off to the side right now. So as of about 4:30 today, had conversations with some folks in Springfield, also had some conversations with other county board members as well as the mayor. And what we're working on now is coming up with a proposal for a possible solution or amendment to instead of having it become an expressway, have it either leave it the same, have the village take it over, have it 3 lanes. I don't know, it's kind of up in the village's hands now, what it is you want to propose, and then we'll work closely with the village and the county board to try and have some kind of agreement that's acceptable to all parties. And I know ever since the beginning, I've been against this 143rd Street expansion because when a lot of this was done, discussion was 20 years ago. That was long before 159th was the expressway that it is, and 143rd does not need to be that. So I wish I had more detail, but like I said, it's been probably 2 hours now at the very most since we've gotten some information. So I will continue to work with the county board, continue to work with the mayor and your folks, and we'll try and come up with something. And June 2nd to Tuesday at 9 o'clock is a Public Works and Transportation meeting. I did ask to have that put on the agenda. I think it's 9 o'clock. I'll double check, but to have it on the Public Works and Transportation agenda.
June 2nd's a Monday.
Okay, so what's Tuesday then?
Tuesday's the 3rd.
Tuesday's the 3rd then. Then we'll meet then, I think it
Okay.
is. So, I'll make sure I coordinate with you,
Sure.
Christina, and Mayor, I'm sorry. And
Sorry.
we'll go from there, okay? So,
You know what time that meeting is, Jim?
you know what I'll do?
9 a.m. is the June 3rd meeting with
Yeah.
the Transportation Department.
I
Want to
didn't
make sure for everybody.
Yeah, I'll look it up real quick, and then is it right if I come back up here?
Yeah,
And I'll
yeah,
validate
just
it for you. So,
Take a moment and
okay.
pause.
So
All
thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you for everything you've done, too, to support
Yes,
us.
thank you.
Okay, and then next is Diane Cernak. Yes. All right. Moving on to reports and communications from the president and other officers. Village Manager Joe Baber, you're up.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple things. Homerfest is less than 4 weeks away. We're still looking for volunteers, sponsors. Mega passes will be available starting June 2nd at the Whitmore Ace Hardware in here at Village Hall. Today we had 2 ribbon cuttings, Water Street Boutique, excuse me, and Subway, both located. Water Street Boutique is in the Ace Hardware. Subway is on approximately 142nd in Bell Road in front of Home Depot. So those were opened up today. Good news today regarding 143rd. I think I'd like to thank the residents when we put information on the website regarding witness slips. They're filing those, and that obviously helped the cause. So thank you again. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Richmond?
It is going to be on Tuesday, June 3rd at 9 o'clock at the county building. And if you need any other information, feel free to just reach out to me.
Sure.
But I think we'll continue to work closely together and try and figure something out. So,
Yep, and we'll post something for everybody in the village to know when that meeting is.
perfect. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you again.
All right.
You don't have to stay.
I don't, okay. I'll go home and have dinner then. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, next is the village trustees. Mr. Mueller, or Trustee Mueller?
Just about two Saturdays ago, EMA Director Ron Cuss organized a workshop meeting with all of us trustees with the Will County Emergency Management Association. It was an eye-opener for me, seeing everything from a completely different perspective. So just a shout out to him. He did a fantastic job on bringing everybody together and putting the workshop together and making it happen.
Thank you very much. Trustee Reinders?
I also would like to thank Ron Cuss. It was very enlightening, and I was really glad, we all kind of like said, oh, Saturday morning we have to go to a meeting. But I have to tell you, it was very informative. It let us know what the chain of command was in the event of emergency in our town. And that's really, really important, because we need to know what our role as elected officials are. So I just would like to thank him. And if anybody ever has an opportunity to take that course, you really should, because it's an eye-opener. The one thing I would just like to say about our parks is, at our last parks meeting, we met with Director Gruber, and we are now going to be reviewing with Director Gruber a lot of the suburbs around the area, the municipalities, for their impact fees regarding parks and development. So that's going to be an ongoing process for the next couple meetings, so I'll keep everybody abreast of what's going on.
Thank you. Trustee Mason, real fast. I feel like I can hear myself, but I didn't hear your mic or your mic. Can the residents hear them? No, so they can't hear. There's no speakers on back there. You can hear me though. Okay.
They better hear you.
I know, they probably wish it was the opposite.
Testing.
Oh, you can hear yours. Mike, Trustee Blueford?
Testing.
Yeah.
Testing.
Oh,
How about now?
You turned it on.
no, they had theirs on. I seen it.
Mine's on.
Yours
Can anyone
on?
hear me?
Okay,
There we go.
we're good. All right.
Trustee Mason.
As stated prior on Saturday, May 17, all current village trustees attended a Will County class and presentation on emergency management for the village. This was set up through our EMA director, Ron Cuss, and the Will County EMA. Also in attendance was our village manager, Joe Baber. The village staff of Homer Glen and our elected officials are working in unison towards a common goal. And that goal is to be prepared in the event of a natural disaster and or have a recovery plan if needed. These classes actually started back in 2005, but somehow Homer Glen's officials, with the exception of our mayor and former trustee Beth Rogers, have never taken it until this year. That's 20 years of absence from the program, basically. I am just glad that we've never needed it, and hopefully we won't need it anytime in the near future. However, the classes did cover our roles as staff, as Trustee Reinders mentioned, and elected officials to ensure that we have a clear understanding of what is expected of us in that type of scenario. During the classes, the executive and senior officials cover topics such as NIMS, which is a command and coordination roles. In addition, we also covered ICS, which is structure, and the benefits of logistics, operations, and planning, followed by finance and resources. I believe that we all have a much improved understanding of the overall priorities and responsibilities now in the event of a disaster. We had the pleasure of learning about grants based on training at the local level, the state, and the federal. We also learned about the chain of command and how to request state resources, disaster assistance, and many other priorities. I believe our public officials need this training, if for no other reason than to be cognizant and aware of the life safety issues, critical infrastructure. We also learn what goes into being prepared and ready in an emergency and having that plan well in advance. So in closing, I also would like to thank Ron Cuss, our director for the EMA, Mr. Baber, and the Will County EMA for educating us all here on the current board. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore.
Thank you. I'd just like to take a moment to mention a couple of charitable golf outings that are coming up soon here. First off, Thursday, June 19th, the Disabled Patriot Fund is hosting their 20th annual golf outing. It'll be held at Old Oak. If you're interested in more information, please visit disabledpatriotfund.org. It's a great cause and hope to see some people out there. Second, near and dear to my heart, Everest Academy is also hosting a golf outing on Friday, June 27th. This will also be at Old Oak. If you're interested in more information on that, please visit everestadvantage.org. Both outings are 1 week apart, both really good causes. If you have any questions about these outings, please feel free to reach out to myself or visit the websites and get some more information for yourself. But keep in mind, there is no better way to make a new friend than to pick up the wrong golf ball while you're out there. I would also like to thank the mayor for consideration and appointment to the Economic Development Committee and Administration and Finance Committees. Honored to serve and ready for the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Village Clerk.
No report.
Thank you. Village attorneys, we skipped right now. Public safety officials? Nothing? Okay, that leaves me. I got a couple things here. Again, regarding 143rd Street, our attorney, well, first of all, our attorney's running a little late. He's stuck in traffic. There was a major accident on 355. He should be here any time now, so we removed his report down a few items so he can get into the details of 143rd Street. But I really want to express a huge thank you to State Rep Nicole Laha, State Rep Pat Sheehan, Will County Board Member, as you just saw, Jim Richmond, and Will County Board Member Sherry Williams. They have been the force behind them, behind stopping 143rd Street. Senator Ventura and Senator Curran, they contact me on a regular basis to talk about how to stop this. They had great success today down in Springfield. Again, it's not officially 100% stopped. It's just kind of put it on hold for right now. I want to thank the staff very much for, putting up with me with all the list of demands I asked you guys to come up with. I know it's not an easy task, but I appreciate it. The Board of Trustees and the Township Board as well, and most importantly, the residents. I know from the beginning, everyone kept saying, I shouldn't say everyone, many people were saying, it's not possible, just let it go. And I made a comment that there's nothing in this world that's not stoppable, and I believe that we're a force and we're working together to get it done. So keep fighting. I did want to report on the opposition list or witness slips that went out. I have them here. Just give me 1 minute. I just want to tell you how much our residents took the step to do this. So the total witness slip numbers to date for the HB 1397 and Amendments 1 and 2 to HB 250, both amendments were substantially copied from HB 1397. I know it sounds like a lot of numbers, but which is entitled Quick Take Will County and added to HB 250. Let me explain something real quick. In Springfield, it gets very confusing. If you sign a witness slip to one bill, and then they make an amendment to it, those witness slips go away. So it's important that you keep filing witness slips. I think it's a little trick they pull in Springfield, so the numbers don't keep rising with the number of slips. So I appreciate all the residents who stayed on top of it. So the HB 1397 had 260 witness slips. That is unheard of. That is amazing. That's one of the most witness slips they've had. Out of the 260, 240 were opposed to the quick take bill. Then they had an amendment to this bill. 137 total witness slips were filed, and 133 of them were in opposition. And then they put another amendment, which was Amendment 2 to the HB 250, which had 63 total witness slips, which 62 of those 63 were in opposition. We did another one that just rolled out yesterday, and we presented all those numbers, and they heard us. So we're moving in the right direction. Don't give up. Keep fighting the good fight on that. I don't see Lou Zemke here, which is worrying me because he told me he'd be here today. But the American Legion, again, had poppy sales last weekend, the weekend before, and they're continuing to do them this weekend at Blueberry Hill and at Jewel. So if you hadn't had your chance to make your donation to the veterans yet for their poppies, their poppy sales, they'll be there at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So please stop by and make your donation. I know there's a lot of concerns about kids on bikes at Jewel, Meyer, and now they ventured off to behind the Dollar Tree. We're working on it. I know that the Sheriff's Office is working on it. They're doing a great job, from what I can tell, of identifying these children and working with the parents to let them know that their little chillins are misbehaving and causing some ruckus, so I appreciate that. Yes, we did have 2 ribbon cuttings today, but we also had 2 ribbon cuttings last week. Maribel's, which is a secondhand store, but it's upscale product. My dress is from there, actually. And then we had, I don't know how to say it, but I think it's Tifo? Tifo is where the Orient Cafe was. Great food, amazing food. The other thing I wanted to add on that was, yes, we have narrowed it down to 3 possible candidates for the 2 trustee positions. We're going to be contacting all the applicants tomorrow, if not on Monday. I think that's it I have for right now. If I forgot something, I'm sure I'll throw it in there later. All right, moving on to consent agenda. Number 1, consider for approval the accounts payable for the period of April 30th, 2025 through May 29th, 2025 in the amounts of $746,088.43. And 2, consider for approval the treasurer's report of cash and investments for the period ending February 28th, 2025 in the amount of $48,182,130.71. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Reinders, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to legislation and action items. Number 1, consider for approval a proclamation declaring May as ALS Awareness Month in the Village of Homer Glen. I would announce the whole word, but I can't. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Reinders?
I'll second.
Trustee Lepore. Trustee Reinders is going to read the proclamation.
A proclamation declaring the month of May as, it's on. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
There we go.
A proclamation declaring the month of May as Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis Awareness Month 2025. Whereas amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, known by many as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive, fatal neurodegenerative disease in which a person's brain loses connection with the muscles, slowly taking away their ability to walk, talk, eat, and eventually breathe. And whereas every 90 minutes, someone is diagnosed with ALS and someone passes away from ALS. And whereas, on average, patients diagnosed with ALS only survive 2 to 5 years from the time of diagnosis. And whereas, ALS has no cure. And whereas, People who have served in the military are more likely to develop ALS and die from the disease than those with no history of military service. And whereas securing access to new therapies, durable medical equipment, and communication technologies is of vital importance to people living with ALS. And whereas clinical trials play a pivotal role in evaluating new treatments, enhancing quality of life, and fostering assistive technologies for those living with ALS. And whereas we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Ice Bucket Challenge through a renewed commitment to galvanize public awareness and support funding leading to significant investments in ALS research. And whereas the ALS Association and the largest philanthropic funder of ALS research globally has committed over $154 million to support more than 550 projects across the United States and 18 countries. And whereas our commitment to accelerating the pace of discovery remains unwavering, fueled by hope that one day ALS will be a livable disease for everyone, everywhere, until we can cure it. Whereas ALS Awareness Month increases the public's awareness of people with ALS, dire circumstances, and acknowledges the terrible impact this disease has, not only on the person, but on his or her family and the community, and recognizes the research being done to eradicate this disease. Now, therefore, our Mayor, Naichki Troiki, does hereby proclaim the month of May 2025 as ALS Awareness Month. I call upon all Americans to join and support ALS research, advocating for increased funding and standing in solidarity with those affected by this relentless disease.
Thank you, Trustee Reinders, for reading that because I couldn't. Any discussion on that? Anybody? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Motion carries. This isn't the original one. That's just a copy. Okay, number 2, consider for approval the mayor's committee appointments for all standing committees. I believe before you guys make the motion, I have to read all of the committee appointments.
But Mayor, before you read that, there's a change that I think we need to make before we go ahead and appoint the committees.
All right, I think I have to read it and then you make the amendment.
Okay.
Okay, so for the mayor's appointments to the Ability Awareness Committee, co-chair myself, Mayor Christina Naitzke-Troiki, co-chair Karen Adamczyk, committee members Angela McKenna, Robert O'Connor, James Crones, Teresa Cansada, Kitty Mitchell, Dr. Doyle Akawi, and Felicia David. For Admin and Finance Committee, Trustee Reinders, Trustee Mason, and Trustee Lepore. The mayor's appointments to Behavioral Health and Addiction Recovery Committee, committee chair, Village Manager Joe Baber. At the time, there is no vice chair. Committee members Mark Raber, Dr. Delac, Dr. Snow, and Alexandra Zubek. Appointments to the Community Development Committee. At the time, there is no appointment for chair, but vice chair is Dan Kenny. Committee members is Ken Marson, Laura Elkins, John McGarry, Paul McGarry, Jody Oliveri, Sue Stylen, Andrew Smigulski, and Melissa Warren. The mayor's appointments to Economic Development Committee, Chair Trustee Lepore, Vice Chair Craig Carlson, and committee members Nicholas Volek and Ricardo Martinez. Appointment to the Environment Committee, Village Planner Taylor Adarby for Chair. There is no Vice Chair at this moment. Committee members Joe Torres, Andy Pinelli, Chris Chapetta, Fran Preveller, Bo Hisney, and Sharon Suisse, or Bay Hisney, sorry. B. The mayor's appointments to Park and Rec Committee, Chair Trustee Reinders, there's no vice chair at this time. Committee members Dale Jansen, Bob Kamen, Russell Knack, Matt Hostany, Martin Pavlik, Amy Blank, and Dan Kenny. And appointments to the Public Services and Safety Committee, Chair Trustee Mason, Vice Chair Dave Bricker, committee members Trustee Muller, Brett Westcott, Ron Kuss, Scott Chance, Brent Woods, Pete Piazza, and Ton Fonfero. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Mason and Trustee Reinders.
I think we need to make a motion to amend before we make the motion to approve.
Yep.
Right.
So it's
Okay, I would like to make a motion to amend Chapter 10, Section 1016, membership relating to standing committees. Right now, under our membership, there's an error there. I know last year we had gone over this time and time again about our committees, whether or not we would be allowing residents to chair committees. And the language that is in here where it says, not less than whom shall be a member of Village Board of Trustees and the remainder of whom shall be residents of the Village of Homer Glen, selected for their interest, fitness, and aptitude for working within a particular area of a given committee. The way it is supposed to read is that, that it's not, if in the event that there is not a trustee that would chair, we would next go to a staff member. And if there was not a staff member, then we would actually go on to a resident. So that needs to be changed, that language.
So the motion is to appoint the members. That would have to be brought back up again at
Yes.
another agenda item.
Yes.
But that's a good catch, good point. I wish my attorney was here. But we can't do that at this time. We'd have to do it at another time.
Yes.
I would like to add trustee Nick Muller to admin and finance, but I can't make that motion if somebody else would.
I'll make the motion. I think he should work.
Okay, so the amendment is to add trustee Muller to admin and finance. Is there any more amendments?
No.
So I do just want to let everybody know, the reason why there's seats missing is because obviously we don't have our other two trustees yet. So before we start putting chairs or co-chairs or vice chairs and filling all the vacancies, I'd like to ask the new trustees what they would like to do as well.
Yeah.
So as it sits right now, it still may change in the future, but as of right now, this is what I'm asking you to be approved. So there's a motion on the table to amend to add trustee Muller to the admin and finance. We had a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Okay. Now the motion to approve the
The
amendment.
amendment to.
As amended.
Chapter 10, Section 10-6, membership relating to standing
No,
committees.
wait, that's got to be, we have to put that on the agenda.
Okay, all right.
So that's just a good point to make,
Okay.
but
So the original motion I'll make for the ratification of,
no. So what trustee Reinders is saying would have to be, we don't
gonna
have
be
it
put on
on the
another
agenda. It
agenda.
has to be put on another agenda to
Right.
rectify that, unless that's just a typo, like a
I think
typing
it's a
area.
typo because we did cover that.
We
Right.
did cover it,
Right.
yes,
But as what we're voting on now is based on what that says.
based on
So
what the
we'll
ordinance
bring
says.
we're
it
not,
back
we're
then.
not in any violation right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll bring it back.
Okay.
Okay.
But, so I need a motion to approve the agenda, I'm sorry, the.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendments to the motion.
Amendments to the, yeah.
No. So I need a motion to approve the appointments as amended.
There you go. I'll make the motion to approve the appointments as amended.
And I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. Oof.
Confusing.
That was a rough one.
Wasn't that hard? You could be the lawyer now.
Okay. Yeah, what are we paying now? Yeah, we could cut some bills right now. Consider for approval the mayor's appointment of John Hand to serve as chairman of the Village of Homer Glen's Plan Commission. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller, any discussion?
No, Mr. Hand's been around for quite some time and has been instrumental in all the different roles he's played, so I don't see why not.
He's doing a great job.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, consider approval of the mayor's appointment of Lynn McGeary to serve as vice chair of the Village of Homer Glen's Plan Commission. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee
I'll second.
Reinders, trustee Mason, any discussion?
The only thing I'd like to say, Mayor, is
I
that,
still can't hear you.
I don't know why, 'cause
Get all
my-
up in there. Sing. There you go.
can you hear me? I don't, you know what? Only when I go in a certain way, you could hear. Actually, I would just like to say that we are very fortunate to have Lynn again as a member of the committee. I think she, or commission, she does a great job. She's very thorough, and you know, she reads her packet.
Any more discussion?
No, I'm glad to have her back, and, Lynn is very involved, and I've only been to a couple plan commissions meetings, but you guys do a great job.
I concur, all of what they said. You're great, Lynn. We love you. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, consider for approval the mayor's appointment of Robert Marshall to serve as a member of the Village of Homer Glen's Planning Commission. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee
I'll
Lepore?
second.
Trustee Mason. Is Robert here? No? Okay. Any discussion on Robert?
None of us know him.
I see that he has an engineering degree. I went through this, and I think he'll be a great asset and a welcome addition.
He came very highly ranked on the interviews of the Planning Commission. So,
And I questioned Mr. Gruber about that today, too.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, consider for approval the mayor's appointment of Marwan Masef to serve as a member of the Village of Homer Glen's Planning Commission. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mason, Trustee Reinders. Is Mr. Masef here? Hi. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself and let me know if I at least said your last name right? Put you on the spot, right?
Yeah,
Oh, how do you say the
definitely not
last name? Misef.
Misef.
You want to come up and just say hi? You're like, no, no. Okay. Yeah, right over in the microphone.
Hello.
Hello. So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I grew up in Oak Lawn, moved here in 2016, got married in 2016, I have 2 kids. One goes to Goodings Grove, one is about to go to Goodings Grove. I work on the regulatory side of TSA, so I work for the government, federal government, but on the compliance side, and I am a realtor as well. I've been doing that since 2019, and I've been with TSA since 2001, or 2002. So,
Well, thank you for taking an interest in our village. We
Yeah,
need more people like you to step up and help us out.
yeah, I hope I can help.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're going to get appointed today.
I hope so.
Congratulations in 5 seconds.
Thank
All
you.
right, Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll?
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. So next we have the village attorney. He's still not here. He did say that there was a fire on, a vehicle on fire or something on 355.
We can
so
save his to move down towards the
we
end.
technically can't, but he can speak under new business or old business then when we get there. Okay, moving on to number 7, consider for approval an ordinance granting 1, a variance to permit an above-ground pool as an obstruction in a corner side yard, and 2, a variance to permit a deck as a obstruction in a corner side yard for certain real property located in the R5 Single Family Residential District at 12034 Winchester Road, Orland Park, Illinois, with the Homer Glen corporate limits, HG 2512V. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason?
Trustee Reinders.
Trustee Reinders. Sorry, you'll get the next one, I promise.
Sorry.
Trustee Mason?
No, the Plan Commission voted 5-0. This is another one of those scenarios where it's a pie shape in a kind of a turn area, and he really has nowhere else to put it, and I don't think it's going to affect anything, and I think it'll probably be a welcome addition to his home.
Trustee Reinders?
I know that they did come before us before for a fence with the intention of putting a pool up, and with the design of the way that lot is shaped, I mean, this is the only way that they could put it in there. So
It's a
I have
true
no
pie.
problem. Yeah, it's definitely a pie, a piece of pie.
Trustee Lepore?
Nothing, ma'am.
Trustee Muller?
No, just looking at everything, that the side yard in question is about as backyard as a side yard could possibly be, so I see absolutely no issues with it.
Is the petitioner here? Okay, since nobody has any questions, then we're just going to call the roll. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congrats on your pool. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, number 8, consider for approval an ordinance amending section 83-51D of the Village Code licensing and regulating video gaming within the Village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Reinders, is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Trustee Mason. Trustee Reinders, you have the floor.
This is, I know that we had changed our ordinance last year, and these people have been a staple in our community for many, many years, and I think that we have to definitely make an exception in this case. I would hate to see her lose her license just because she can no longer afford to be under the restrictions of a franchise. And we want to keep her, we don't want to lose any business, you know, we love our businesses in the village, so I have no problem with this.
Trustee Mason?
I agree and align with the statements made by Trustee Reinders. The difference is the DBA, which is doing business as, is just changing the name to the The Bite, Homer Glen, and the restaurant actually is, been in business for quite some time, and the franchise scenario is taking about 25% of her fees, and she cannot continue to do business under the franchise, so she's breaking away. So I don't see why we wouldn't protect the business.
Trustee Lepore?
Yeah, I concur with the fellow trustees. I don't see any reason to penalize someone for restructuring their business. They've been here a long time, and it's just seems like something that's going to happen once in a while, and there should be no issues with this. I'm fine with it.
Trustee Muller?
They summed it up perfectly. It's just, the business has been a staple in the community for many, many years, and just because the name is changing, I don't think we need to penalize them.
Petitioners here, I see. Do you like what you hear? Yeah? All right, well, yeah, thanks for being a part of our community, too.
I'm looking forward to the new chicken.
Yeah.
I looked at the menu, it looks pretty good.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Motion carries. Congrats. Okay, moving on to number 9, consider for approval an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Homer Glen and Will County School District 92 concerning village use of Oak Prairie Junior High School property for public parking and access during Homer Community Festival, June 26th through June 29th, 2025. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lepore?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller? Trustee Lepore?
I just want to thank District 92 and Oak Prairie Junior High School for providing this service. It's essential with Homerfest coming up that need some parking, and it's great to see them step up and allow us to do this. Thank you.
Trustee Muller?
Absolutely. Again, many thanks to the district in allowing us to move forward and expand Homerfest as we have.
Trustee Reinders?
I think this is something we do every year for Homerfest, so we need to have an agreement in place in order to be able to move forward. So, again, it's good working together with our school districts.
Trustee Mason?
No, I was surprised by it actually from the distance, but if we're at capacity, that's a great
Didn't see
thing to
anything.
have another option.
I think, from what I can tell, I didn't see it in here, they didn't charge us anything.
Right.
So that's being neighborly, and I appreciate that. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
All right.
Motion carries. Number 10, consider for approval the Illinois Department of Transportation IDOT resolution for improvement under the Highway Code for resurfacing of various streets throughout the Village of Homer Glen as an addition to the village's roadway resurfacing program for 2025. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller? Trustee Mason, do you have anything?
This is something that we do regularly. It was already budgeted for. I believe that we actually have $519,301.63 actually that we need to spend by this July or we lose it. So I don't see why we wouldn't go ahead and resurface the streets that we've already budgeted for and use the money that we have.
Trustee Muller?
Yeah, that sums it up.
Trustee Reinders?
I
Trustee
concur.
Lepore?
While no one likes road construction, everyone likes smooth roads, so we got to make this happen.
All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Motion carries. Old business, 2025 Plan Commission Annual Report. Who's got it? Mr. Gruba?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
There you go.
So this just, every year, the Plan Commission reviews the annual report, and staff drafts it, and then it goes before the board just to receive it, and then there's no action that needs to be taken. So just kind of a report of what's happened with the Plan Commission and with the items. There's a whole case review, and on the last page, the recommendations for going into the future, and can answer any questions.
I don't have any questions. Did you guys have any questions?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, he lays it out pretty good in the case reviews. It's all written here, so we appreciate that.
All right, well, that was easy. I cannot believe it's 7:09. I feel like we should be doing something. I'm sorry these board meetings become very boring, but I guess that's what the residents voted for, right? I was hoping the attorney would be here. He did say that he was close. So,
We can take a recess if needed.
well, I mean, we really have, I just heard the door.
So did I.
There he is!
All right, meeting adjourned.
Yay, we were waiting for you. The meeting's over, we're just
Meeting
waiting for you.
adjourned.
I hope you only charged me for 5 minutes, though.
Well, that's what we got.
So we're really just waiting for you to give us an update on 143rd.
Oh, okay, well, talk about walking in, ready to go.
Will County Board Member Jim Richmond did attend, and he spoke in public comment, gave a brief of what happened today, but I know you have a little bit more detail than he had, so.
Yes, ma'am. First, I want to apologize to everyone. I usually get here about an hour before each board meeting. Today, we were running a little bit late because we were on the phone with Senator Ventura and some others in regards to what was going on 143rd Street. Secondly, unfortunately, the traffic, there was a big fire. There was a vehicle fire, a truck fire on I-355, which is the reason why I'm tardy today, so I apologize for that. It was backed up from 355 and I-55 interchange all the way to 127th Street. It was completely stopped. So please excuse my lateness, but we're pleased to report, or there's some really positive things that have been happening in regards to 143rd Street. First and foremost, I want to give you a little bit of a background as to where the bill currently is, where it was during the last report that I gave 2 weeks ago, and where it is currently right now. So 2 weeks ago, I shared with everyone that the quick take provision for Will County was rebranded, for lack of a better word, kind of packaged into House Bill 250. And it was assigned to the Executive Committee. Amendments 1 and 2 were assigned to the Executive Committee. It did, unfortunately, despite the mayor's efforts and obviously this board's efforts in opposing the bill to try to keep it within that committee stance and not put to the floor for a vote on those amendments, it did unfortunately get out of committee, from the Executive Committee to the floor of the House, where the amendments, both of them, Amendment 2, I believe, passed. From there, it went to the Senate. The Senate then assigned it, meaning House Bill 250, to a committee, which currently sits right now before the Judiciary Committee. The mayor directed myself on her behalf to send correspondence to the members of that committee, and also Senator Rachel Ventura, who is spearheading this, or who was apprised of all the opposition that Homer Glen and other folks within the community have been putting forth this bill. Because of that opposition, because of the mayor's remarks and opposition, I believe the township supervisor's remarks, the board over here, and the public.
You know what, Mike, I'm sorry, attorney. Are you sound like you're having a hard time hearing. I don't know what's going on with their microphones.
Can you hear me?
Oh. You got to get really close apparently today.
All right.
But I think they got the gist of what you said already, but.
Okay, so because of the opposition that was put forth, it's my understanding that the bill currently, House Bill 250, is currently on hold in the Judiciary Committee. And it's my understanding that it's going to be on hold for this entire session. So the session should be ending May 31st. However, that remains to be seen, because I don't think, at this point, a budget has been passed. But this is at least good news from a temporary standpoint, that the bill itself is being held. And again, Senator Ventura was the one that has been very, very helpful in voicing the concerns of the residents, all that opposed House Bill 250 and those that opposed the bill, House Bill 1397, when it was previously packaged. So as I shared before, House Bill 1397 was the form that it used to be packaged in, the quick take provision for 143rd Street. And then because of all the opposition likely to that bill, they repackaged it in the form of 2 amendments to House Bill 250. So Senator Ventura brought that to the leadership of the Senate's attention, and currently the bill is being held. Now, there's no guarantee that it's going to be held indefinitely, but from my conversations and from my understanding is that the House bill, or that bill is currently being held up at the Senate. Hopefully, Madam Mayor, the parties are all going to get together, I think, with the county and what have you, to have a discussion this up and coming, I believe, ma'am, June 3rd?
Second.
I'm sorry.
We have to correct it, because originally, Will County member Jim Richmond thought the 2nd was the Tuesday.
Okay.
And my meeting is the 2nd, his is the 3rd, so we might have to make a little change with that, but
Okay.
it's the 2nd or the 3rd right now.
Well, understood, but concerns that, well, the good news is that the bill from our understanding, the bill is currently being held up in the Senate Judiciary Committee, and we, all the government folks, the mayor and others, are going to be working to try to resolve this.
And that was their recommendation, is for the village and the county to get together
Yeah.
to try to exhaust all options.
Yeah, just so that people don't think that like the mayor and the board members over here are like trying to go after and just go ahead and buy streets and like do all this stuff. That's just complete nonsense, okay? That's foolish. They're looking at exploring every venue, every avenue available to try to stop what's going on, which would be the expansion of that roadway from its current form of two lanes to a 5-lane roadway. My understanding is that the powers that be in the Senate would like to see all the forms of government, the township, the local form of our home rule authority here, Homer Glen, in addition to the Will County, get together and try to resolve this. That's my understanding, and that's what's been tasked by the mayor. Well, not tasked by the mayor, but that's the direction that the mayor has given to everyone to work to try to find a resolution, and that's the understanding from the House members that I spoke with.
So I hope everyone can understand where we're at with that now. I know I received a lot of phone calls, and thank you, Attorney, for, as Will County Board Member Jim Richmond had stated, we found this out about 4:30, 5 o'clock today, and our wheels have been spinning since, and we have little time to come up with plans of what we're looking for and what we plan to do moving forward. But I will express now, along with this board, that our last option is 5 lanes. Okay? Anything else you want to add since you just appeared?
No, I have a bunch of stuff that I have to bring up in executive session, things that we're working on, utility related and development related and litigation related. Unfortunately, I can't share that with everybody, but we certainly, I just want to bring to everybody's attention how, for lack of a better word, how on the ball the mayor has been in regards to monitoring this 143rd Street. When this bill was rebranded as 2 amendments to House Bill 250, they didn't provide any notification time as to when this was going to be heard in committee. The mayor, through Representative Laha, who is really involved in this as well, I want to thank her for her assistance with all this, would apprise us at like 5 o'clock in the evening that the bill would be being heard in committee that morning at 10 in the morning. So all of us would have to scamper in order to put together the remarks that we wanted to submit on the mayor's behalf, on your behalf, to make sure that your voices were heard. Secondly, one of the things that the mayor 100% wanted to have happen was that all of the witness slips, there were 260 witness slips that were filed total, for and against, for House Bill 1397. When the bill was rebranded, those witness slips were lost. So one of the things the mayor said in her statement that I had helped her write and that we submitted to the executive committee was that we wanted all of those slips, of which I think 240 of them were in opposition to the 143rd Street expansion, but we wanted all of those witness slips to be read in the record for this new bill, for this House Bill 250, so that all those representatives on the floor knew what the history of this bill was and all the voices of the people that were in objection to it. So, and that was the mayor's doing. So I just want all the public to know how on the ball both her, Representative Laha, and now Senator Ventura have been.
Thank you. All right. Oh, thank you. All right. I just got a couple of things for old business. Officer Tung had retired. That doesn't mean everyone gets to go speeding the streets. His replacement is not in the room, though.
He's not in the room today, but he's on duty.
Yeah, he's on duty, and from what I understand, he's already capturing some of you speeders. So Tung didn't go away, he just got a replacement. So be careful when you're speeding. And he will be missed, not by all, but by many. And then, and I wish him well on his retirement. I hope he has fun and, you know, does his thing. I would love to do that. Golf carts. I see golf carts out, but I don't see stickers on them. So if you have a golf cart, please get your stickers. You can still get pulled over, especially by our new officer. Any new business? Since we don't have a workshop, we're going to go into executive session to discuss regarding personnel and pending litigation and utilities. Anything else? Did I miss anything else? No? All right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess.
You have to make a motion.
It's
to go into
7:20. Is there a
executive
motion to
session.
go into executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason, Trustee Reiners, thank you. Good night. All in favor?